Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only God's son name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shah, not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So you got to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rikah, Kodash. Give honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In the sense of the salutation to all the ark and pushing the truth and believing the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Agwath who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Coming to the lesson, the true facts, faith, and education. Of daily education, Lord, will us be edifying. So I titled this lesson, Daily Affairs That Make You Think That the Lord is Not With You. And when you deal with a certain situation, and we have a thought in our mind that make us feel like the Lord ain't dealing with you. Real quick, let me get this. In Ephesians, and me and the brother was talking about this last night. When you look at these apostles, our apostles, Jeremiah 3:15, the Lord said he set up men that shall feed us according to the Lord's mind, right? When you look at the apostles and how they move, like the apostles be concerned with when you got Sakari, cussing out the apostles, you got different guys in different groups say this and that about the apostles. That don't offend the apostles, man. When you look at the apostles of Great Millstone, things that be said against them, that doesn't bother them, man. They don't fire back because of some guy. Apostle always say, I ain't mad at you. Because he always say, it's the Lord that got him like that. When you look at the apostles, they always concerned about those that's in Great Millstone, man. Those that should be on point. Those that's teaching sound doctrine. That's what pissed the apostles off, man. If it's a brother that's in Great Millstone, they don't care about nobody outside of this. Now you got those that teaching the same sound doctrine of Yahweh Shema Shah, but the apostles is about, and the apostles could always bring it out, man. When they tell you in Proverbs, know the state of thy flocks and the well to thy herds. So in Ephesians 4, and we were talking about this last night, when you look at the apostles, and I was telling brother, all I can think about is how humble the apostles is, man. They don't get offended when Sakari said, screw the apostles and this and that. They need to pass the torch. Listen, the apostles is focused on the sheep, man, the flock. This is about the flock, man. And I was bringing this out a lot in the last few months. This is Ephesians 4, in verse 10. It reads, he that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, to be perfect, man, in these bodies, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, till we all come into the unity of faith. This is the point I want to make. We were talking about this last night. Till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of a Mashiach. When we look at the apostles, we see them at this point, man. The apostles is humble. They don't care about outsiders. All they care about is the flock. And at this point, them being, I'm not saying they done met their full measure, but when you look at them, it's like they have met their full measure. And they just wait on Yahweh to return, man. When I look at the apostles, this is what I see. Till we all come in the union of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of a Mashiach. See, we all got to meet this full measure in our stature of the fullness. It say till we come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Mashiach. And this is how I look at the apostles. Like this is where they at. And this is what we trying to get at, man. This is what we trying, this is the point where we trying to get. That's why we still here, man. Because all of us has not met the measure of the stature of the fullness of a Mashiach, man. We haven't reached this measure yet. But when I look at the apostles, I feel like this is where they at, man. Because the apostles don't get mad at some guy that cussed them out and this and that. They don't even respond to the videos. But it be like elder bishops, even the elder bishops don't even respond to videos. Okay? But this is the measure that we are trying to reach, man. So the point I want to make in this lesson, things that happen to us in our daily walk, and we be like, man, the Lord ain't dealing with me. Why would this happen? Like I'm doing my videos. I'm walking my faith walk through the week. I'm being diligent. You ain't just in the faith. You ain't just believing. You a brother that do videos. Like when you do diligent, passionate, sincere videos, and then you just something happened to you and you just feel like the Lord can't be dealing with me. That's not the case, man. As we know what it said in Ecclesiastes chapter 2. But we feel like this. I feel like this, man. I feel like something happened to me. And it made me feel like the Lord ain't with me, man. And I know the Lord with me. I know my daily walk. I know Yahweh Shema Shai is with me. But it was something that happened to me that really made me want to just give up, man. I just want to stop. And I ain't just talking about the truth. I'm talking about I just want to die, man. Like just give up my ghost, man. Because I felt like, why would this happen to me if I'm being diligent? I'm 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 doing everything that I can possibly do to show the Lord that I'm serious about this. But then something happened that just made me like, I don't want to do this no more, man. Like I'm talking about living. I don't even want to be here no more. When something happened to you in your daily walk, your daily affairs, listen, man. The Lord, let me just read it. This is Proverbs 3 and 11. My son, and this is talking to each and every one of us that got faith and believe in the Lord. And I ain't gonna make this too long, man. This is just something that I was crying over, man. Like I'm crying in my spirit, man. Cause something that happened to me that made me really feel like the Lord ain't dealing with me at all, man. Like I'm just ready to just give up the ghost and I don't want to do nothing else, man. Like I'm tired of fighting. This is Proverbs 3 and 11. My son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. So I understand why the Lord did what he did. And when you fellowshipping with brothers when you fellowshipping with brothers and y'all heavy in the spirit and things is good, and then right after that, something happened to you that just took that whole energy from you. It took all the energy that you had, that spirit that you had from being around the brothers, just back to that same your same walk through the week, man, by yourself. It just make you feel like the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. Again, my son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh, neither be weary, neither be weary of his correction. Let's get the word weary. It's a
Strong's H, 6973. Coots. Coots.
it says to be grieved.
Second entry. Coot. Coot.
It says to be grieved, to loathe, abhor, feel a loathing or abhorrence or sickening dread. To feel a sickening dread. And this is how I felt. This is how I felt that moment, man. It's a disgust. Disgust, man. Or it's a disgust or anxious. Be distressed, be grieved, low, vexed, be weary. I was disgust because I felt like, man, the Lord ain't dealing with me, man. The Lord ain't dealing with me, man. Now, this is a precept the young brother in the camp, the brother Rakar always bring out. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 12. It reads, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors. Succors meaning help. It say Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 12. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the help which reason offereth. And now we know that the Lord is the succors mean to be helped. We know that our help is from Yahweh Shema Shah. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of succors which reason offereth, and the expectation from within being less, counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. Meaning simply you overthinking it. I was overthinking it like, man, the Lord ain't dealing with me, man. Why would the Lord do this to me? And I'm diligently, and all I do is pray to Yahweh Shema Shah to increase my wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that I may feed the sheep with sound doctrine, to strengthen me, that I, Lord willing, may endure to the end, till I get beaten up into a chariot. Why would the Lord do this to me? And I'm being diligent, possibly as I can in my spirit, the measure that the Lord gave me. Why would this happen to me, man? Out of the blue for no reason. Where it's always a reason. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth, and the expectation from within being less, and the expectation from within being less, counted the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. So you are beating yourself up in the spirit because you think the Lord ain't dealing with you. That's overthinking. It's called being over righteous in Ecclesiastes 7, man. But this is a part of the chastening of the Lord. So it goes to, let's get this. It goes to this in Galatians. And I tell the brothers all the time, man. And it's like that old saying, practice what you preach. And I be forgetting about this, man. And I tell the brothers so much in the camp. The brothers just stand on the other side, being patient, being diligent, fervent in the spirit. Lord willing, they come on our side. I tell them brothers all the time. I tell the brothers in the camp, we always talk like, man, the minute we wake up, your flesh is boxing with your spirit, man. all day, every day. And then you got other affairs that goes on dealing with your plantation. If you got a real family members, you got kids. So your everyday affairs, the minute you wake up, the flesh already boxing with you. Then you got to deal with other things, man. Galatians 5 and 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. See, this is what goes on daily, man. Then you got to remember the Lord dealing with you, man. The Lord is dealing with us as with sons. Let's get this in Hebrews. There's a few precepts. I was just meditating on this, man, because, man, like, I was at a point like, man, the Lord ain't dealing with me, man. And it's something simple. It was something simple, and I was overthinking it, man. Going back to that's Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 12. I was overthinking what happened. Wasn't this is Hebrews 12 and 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If you endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? And we look at two-thirds of Jake, and they get to ride around here and live good. They busting their ass for these challenges and charges and Camaros and Cayenne Porsches and and these BMW these what do they call it? What these is these X5s and X6s BMW trucks, right? They breaking their back paying them car notes and car insurance. But you like, man, the Lord letting Jake just slide out here. They going through chastenings too, man. They just don't understand what's going on. There's a different chastening for the two-thirds. Because in Proverbs 26 and 10, the Lord said he rewardeth both the fool and transgressors. But he don't deal with them as he deal with those that's in the faith, man. If you endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. And this is how we know the Lord ain't dealing with the so-called white man, because they are known as bastards. The Lord ain't dealing with them. On the left-hand side, he gave them the earth, Job 9:24, but he don't deal with them as he deal with his sons, Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection under rule of the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, what your father told you if you grow to one, your mother, I love you. I'm doing this for your good. For verily they for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we may be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit. What peaceable fruit? Yahweh said it, man. The peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Exercise meaning what? Going through the trials and tribulations, the adversities and afflictions, being put through the furnace of affliction, man. Right? Ecclesiastes 2 and 5, Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 6, Isaiah 48 and 10. It say, nevertheless, afterward it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. When you go to, is it James? Let me get it. I think it's James. It's talking about this peaceable fruit, right? Listen to what Yahweh shall say. Let's see. Is it in James? Let me see. when it say yeah, right here, James 5 and 7, because it just said in Hebrews 12, it yielded a peaceable fruit. The peaceable fruit is talking about the remnant, man. It said that those that was being exercised thereby. So this is a exhortation, James 5 and 7. It said, be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman, which is Yahushua, waited for the precious fruit of the earth. What is it in Lamentations 4? The precious sons of Zion. Precept upon precept. The husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth, see, and have long patience for it. Because it tell you what that in Isaiah 63, it said Yahweh, the avenger burneth in his heart, man. But he gotta be patient. Because when you're reading 2 Ezra 4 and 37, it said, by measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. He do not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So Yahweh, it said, be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord, which is Yahushua. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth and have long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. This is talking about the remnant. That's why I say in Luke 22 and 28, ye are they which have followed me in my temptations, right? And I will appoint you to sit with me in my kingdom as I'm sitting with my Father in his kingdom, man. So the chastening of the Lord, let's get this to 2 Corinthians. Man, and I said, when I said I was vexed, heavy, man, because I was like, man, it ain't no way. It ain't no way the Lord dealing with me, man. Ain't let this happen, man. But then that was my flesh, man. That was my flesh trying to get the best of me, man. 2 Corinthians 1:6, for which cause we faint not, but though our man perish. And and when I overcame that thought, just that thought alone, that was my carnal man, my flesh falling away from me, man. For which cause we faint not, but though our man perish, that was my flesh, more of my flesh perishing from me, man. Yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, this is a light affliction, which is the point I want to make, man. Which is but for a moment, working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So while we're dealing with the flesh, the spirit, man. Oh, let me get this. Because Yahweh said in Matthew, this is Matthew 26 and 41. And to show you how cold the Lord is, man. Because, like, I ain't doing night maintenance no more. Today was my first day going in at 6, doing my 62, right? And, man, it's like, man, I was excited, right? Then the Lord, like, hold on. Hit me across the head and just like, humble back down, Jake. You ain't done. Because most Jake's looking for a better perks in the captivity, man. They good. We want to go home, man. But I'm tired of that overnight, wearing a tan on my body. I'm trying my best to just, it's so much, man. This is Matthew 26 and 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. And when you got a weak flesh and you got a spirit that's willing, that's the balance of the Lord. But if your flesh is weak, think about this. If your flesh is weak and your spirit is willing, not your spirit is strong, and the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Going back to Ephesians 6, we are exercising our spirit to be strong, to be at the strongest point. See, Yahushua said, the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He ain't said the spirit indeed is strong. He said the spirit indeed is willing. but the flesh is weak. So what's going to overpower if you ain't exercising? Like I said in Galatians 5 and 16. If you ain't exercising your spirit to get strong, then your flesh is going to overpower you because it's weak. That means your flesh is strong and your spirit is weak, man. This is what we're dealing with every day, man. And I was at the point, man, I'm gonna get this. Romans. This is Romans 7. That's why, man, the minute you wake up, man, put them gloves on, man. Whether you want to be a boxer or you in UFC, hey, whatever you want to call it, man. Put them gloves on, Jake. Cause you finna be boxing all day long with your flesh, man. The spirit and the flesh is boxing all day long. This is Romans 7:11. For sin taketh occasion by the commandment, deceived me, and by it slew me. See? Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? God forbid. For sin, that it might appear sin, worketh death in me by that which is good, that sin by the commandment might become exceedingly sinful. It says, see, the conflict of two natures. For we know that the law is spiritual, right? We know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal. So under sin, for that which I do, I will lie not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. This is the flesh. We box with the flesh the minute you wake up, man. And you got other affairs you got to deal with. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that, I would not. It is no more me. It is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. That's that flesh, man. That's why we got to be transformed by the renewing of our mind and purging out the old leaven, man. We should be put on a new man. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. This ain't about the outer appearance, man. This ain't about no damn t-shirt with fringes. This ain't about none of that, man. This is about the inward man. This ain't about skin color, none of that. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. Romans 7:24. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank God through Yahweh Mashiach, our Lord. So then, with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. This is a everyday battle, man. That's why I tell you, Corinthians, that we walk by faith and not by sight, man. And as I always tell the brothers, it's hard, but it's fair, man. That's the old saying I heard growing up in Mississippi, man. It's hard, but it's fair, man. This is the conditions of the battle. As I tell you in 2nd Ezra 7, man. This is the conditions of the battle, man. That's what I should have titled the lesson. This is the conditions of the battle, man. When you think, when you know in your carnal thinking that you're doing everything that you can possibly do for the Lord, man. You being diligent, right? You to the best of your ability, you are rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord, but then something happened and you like, man, the Lord can't be dealing with me. The Lord is, man. Let me close with this again. Let me close with this, man. Proverbs. The Lord dealing with you, man. That's your flesh trying to deceive you, man. And remember what the Lord said. The Lord said that, how was that? Proverbs 3. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me get it. Let me just read it. In Luke. And the Lord let him do this, man. The Lord let the spiritual demon say, do this, man. He's allowed to do this. Remember Job. If you read about the story of Job, if you have got to this point in your spiritual walk, you should know, and I mention this a lot, Job represented the elect of Israel going through trials and tribulations, adversities and afflictions, and overcoming it, man. In the end, Job got everything back 100-fold, man. Job represented the remnant of Israel, the elect, whomever they are, going through all kind of trials and tribulations, adversity and afflictions, and overcoming it at the end, man. That's the elect, right? Matthew 22, was that 13? He that endure to the end. Matthew 24 and 13. He that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Job represented the elect going through all trials, tribulations, adversity and afflictions, and overcoming it at the end, man. But the Lord let Satan do that. Luke 22 and 31. And Yahushua said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan has desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. Let's get the different translations. Satan is asking the Lord if he can sift each and every one of us, man. Let's get it. The different translations on Luke 22 and 31. It say, we read the KJV. Here is the NIV. Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. Okay? ESV, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan demanded to have you that he may sift you like wheat. CSB, Simon, Simon, look out. Satan has asked to sift you like wheat, man. See, Satan got to ask the Lord if he can do these things. Let's get the NLT. It says, Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift each of you like wheat. Satan got to ask the Lord, man. Okay? So now, everyday trials and tribulations, this is what the Lord is doing, man. Everything is about the will of Yahweh Shema Shah. Proverbs 3 and 11, my son, despise not the chastening of Yahweh, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. And it tell you in Sirach, it's a man that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. And now, what is his bastard doing? He make a man an offender for a word, man. Right? It said, he that departed from iniquity, he that departed from evil, maketh a man an offender for a word, man. So, these trials and tribulations we going through, this is a part of your spiritual walk, man. So when you think it's you, no. Thus saith the Lord, man. Let me close with this in Proverbs 16. It's Proverbs. Because remember in Proverbs 3 and 5, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thy own understanding. When you do, hey, what ghetto boys say, your mind playing tricks on you, man. And it's the Lord. Proverbs 16 and 1, the preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So like I gotta get one more. Because I just thought about this in Proverbs. See, the preparation of the heart in man, the answer of the tongue is from the Lord, man. This is the Lord trying your patience, your faith, man, as it tell you in James 1, right? Verse 2 on down. This is Proverbs 20 and 27. It reads, the spirit of man is the candle of Yahweh. Doing what? Searching all the inward parts, not the outward parts. Not you got on the fringes and all the zixes and all this other madness. You got on the the bracelets and the wristbands, and you just look the part of an Israelite. The spirit of the spirit of man is the candle of Yahweh, searching all the inward parts of the belly. This word belly meaning your mind, man. So, as it said in Sirach, I gotta close with this. Sirach 17 and 12, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reasoning offereth, which succors mean to be helped, and the expectation from within being less counted the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. And your flesh is what bringeth the torment that make you think something else, man. Something else. Got you thinking it's something else, man. But it's not. Remember, it's the Lord that's trying the faith of your patience. That's in James 1, verse 2 through 4, man. This is supposed to be a build-up for us, not for you to be vexed in the spirit, man. Because when you think about everything is thus saith the Lord, man. Oh, that's a beautiful precept. This is Isaiah Bun Yahawada. He put up 1 Timothy 4 and 8 in NLT. It reads, physical training is good, but training for godliness is much better, promising benefits in this life and in the life to come. That's fire. This is verse 9. This is a trustworthy saying, and everyone should accept it. Verse 10. This is why we work hard and continue to struggle, for our hope is in the living God, who is the Savior of all people, and particularly of all believers. Yeah, man. Beautiful, bro. The water for that, that's fire. That NLT heavy, man. The NLT is fire because we was reading the NLT last night at Isaiah 42 and 9, man. Heavy, man. And NLT is fire, man. Hey, so it's the water for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue blessing your houses. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Rakah Quadash. The honors to the apostles and the bishops and elders, great millstone, who well, who teach well, for the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not, in a sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Aqua who are listening and learning. You few sisters who are listening and learning. Hey, Lord was edifying. Again, throughout for tuning in, throughout for your precepts, man. The water. May Yahweh Shema shall continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. Wa Abba.